Hey everyone, I just made the audio live and I'm going to make the visual live. Hopefully everybody can see me. Just type below in the chat if you can see and hear. I'm really excited, all the first time people, and excited to see a lot of people back from last week. Guys, while we're waiting for everyone to come, just answer the poll that's below us. Have you used any of the following tools to create videos? Oh, good. I'm glad. Glad the sound is working well today. Good to see you guys. I know a couple people just joined. If you guys just joined in, just make sure that you let me know if you can see and hear me, and just take a couple of seconds to answer the poll on have you used any of the following tools to create videos. There's no way to submit the answer, so as soon as you click on it, that means that you chose that answer, but you could always change your answer until I close the poll. No problem. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. So throughout the entire process, for those of you that this is your first webinar, in the chat, as you guys can already see, we've been chatting and discussing different things. So if you have any questions that pop up and discussions and comments, you can definitely pop those in the chat feature. I'm really excited to show you guys PowToon. If I look at the poll results right now, it does not look like anybody has used PowToon right now. So that's a good thing because it's a really cool tool, and I'm really excited about that. So the first thing I want to do is I want to show you guys around. So don't be alarmed, but your screen probably just shifted and changed. So while throughout this whole thing, the chat will be available to you. On the top of your screen, I'm moving myself right now over here. Somewhere there is an icon with a man with his hand raised. If you click the arrow next to the person, you're going to get all these different options like raise hand, agree, disagree, step away, speak louder, speak softer. You can see all of them there. If you click on that, you'll see in the attendees section that we have on the side, it's going to show up there. So if anyone has a question or needs me to do something, just put that symbol up to let me know. So if you guys want to try it right now just to see what happens, you can just click on one of those. You can see your hands, smiley faces, checks. So because you guys can hear and see me, but I can't hear or see you, just let me know at any time. If you do raise your hand, it does enable your microphone, so just be careful. If I approve it, it enables your microphone. So you're better off asking the question in the chat feature. The chat feature, though, is public, so if you do have a question that you don't want everybody to see, don't put it in the chat feature. Instead, you'll now notice that towards the center of the screen, there is a question and answer section. So if you type something in the question and answer section, that goes directly to me and nobody else can see it. So if you have any questions throughout the next hour, you can send them there. I can't always answer back right away, but I will do my best to answer them as quickly as possible. Okay, so those are the different things that you need to be aware of just to, tell me, let me know how you're doing and give me feedback throughout the webinar. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the results to our poll public. So now you should all be able to see the results. So it looks like the majority of people have not used any of these tools to create videos, and then a bunch of people have used Windows Movie Maker, and a couple of people have used Photo Story. So that's good because it's a fresh slate for most of us on how we're going to create these videos. So I'm going to show you an example first, just so you get an idea. What I really like about PowToon is that it looks super professional. It looks like, a videographer or someone professional made this video, and it's actually super simple to do. So I'm going to show you our first example. Okay, so on your screen now, you should no longer see me, but you should see the beginning of like a video. So if you guys could just let me know, do you all see like a blue looking screen right now? Yes, yes. Okay, good. No, it's black. Okay, it might be black. When I start playing it, because I'm going to press play in a minute, if you guys can't see it, just let me know. So I'm going to press play right now. Using PowToon. All right, so I just wanted you guys to get an idea of what's possible with PowToon. So that is like a mission theme PowToon that is really, it was short. It was like 1 minute and 15 seconds. And it's just one example of one template that you can use in PowToon. So what I want you guys to do right now is in the bottom left corner, it says example PowToon. And then it talks about different subjects. It says math, social studies, English, science. If you click on them and then you click browse to, it's actually going to open different examples. So I want you to take a second to look at a couple of different examples. And then I'm going to open a poll in the center of the screen. And I just want you guys to, take some time to answer that poll. So the poll is now open. I'm hoping everyone's clicking on these different examples and viewing a couple of the different examples. You can actually answer multiple responses for this poll, so just keep that in mind. All right, so I see most people are answering. I'm hoping you've all looked at an example or two. So from looking at these different examples, you see that these can definitely be used in a variety of ways. You can use them for flipped lessons. You can use them for storytelling. You can actually give the site to students and have students create their own, presentations. You could use it at the beginning of the school year. You could use it for a PD. There's just so many different ways that you can, use these videos depending on the template you choose and the subject area. You could definitely use it for open house, Cheryl. It would be really cool to probably impress all the parents with this, very professional looking video. All right, so let's start creating some accounts here, and I'm going to actually broadcast the results to that poll just so you guys can see how many different areas that we could use it in. Okay. Okay, so what I would like you guys to do is up in the top left-hand corner, if you could click on PowToon and then click Browse To. What we're going to do is we're going to have two windows open. So you're either going to have a window or a tab open with the Adobe Connect, and then on the other window, I want you to have PowToon open. so that you can work along with us. In. Okay, good. Alrighty. So now I'm going to start sharing my screen. So just let me know if you guys see my screen in a couple of seconds. Okay, so hopefully you all see that I have PowToon up on my screen as well. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get started by creating an account. So PowToon is a free service. They do have paid plans. If you really, get into it and you want to make even, better designs and you want the students to have more advanced, you can even purchase like a classroom account for teachers and students. But the free account actually provides a lot, so I don't really see any need for that right now. To sign up, if you click up on the top where it says sign up, once you click on that, you have a couple of different options. If you do have a Gmail account, you can click the G+ and you can sign in that way, or you can do a traditional sign up, first name, last name, email address, and the password. So just take a minute to create your account, whichever way you want to do that. Alright guys, hopefully you're all in and have your account. You shouldn't be able to see my screen now because I stopped sharing for a second, but I'm going to actually share again. So I'm just going to sign in to my account. Okay, so when you get logged in to PowToon, this is the first screen that you guys are going to see. This is actually called the dashboard, and this is going to be important to remember later. I know you're probably thinking, why is she sharing this with us right now? But when you'll notice that right away you only have a few options. So we want to click Create to start creating a new PowToon. So when I click on Create, it's going to load up all of these different templates. So what's great about PowToon is you could just have an idea and you don't really have to worry about how you're going to structure the video because they have so many different types of like examples already created. So it might be helpful on the left hand side to filter the results. So I mean, if you click on school and education, these three come up. If you click on like TV ads, this one comes up. So you can click through these and look for different ones. I suggest you play around with a couple of them. If you scroll over them, you can see all the different slides that come with them. So when you've looked through a few, I want you to decide which one you want to use just for this example and click on Edit when you're ready. I also want you guys to note that these are templates, but you can also start from scratch. So on the top, there's another tab. It says Start from Scratch. It's not really starting from scratch because they do give you a little bit, but that works better if you don't really like any of the templates or you don't want to be locked into anything. I'm getting a couple of questions over here. Let me just look at them. So yes, the premium ones are the ones that we need to pay for. So we want to avoid those unless we want to pay. If anybody has any questions right now, just be sure to be typing them in the question and answer section. All right, so I'm going to go with, let's see, pick one. I'll do this one, the product launch one. So I'm going to click edit. And it's going to load my template. Okay, so once your template loads, you're going to see that on the left-hand side, it's going to look very similar to a PowerPoint. So we see all these different slides on the side. Unlike a PowerPoint, because this is a video, it's important to think of these not as slides, but as scenes. So this is the first scene and the first thing that happens in the video. This is the second scene and the second thing that happens in the video. So when we use a template, it's already structured and put together with timing and effects, and we just kind of have to plug in our information to where it needs to be. So with a template, the very first thing that I would suggest that you do is that you click play. So when we do that, you guys see that words popped up, different effects happened, you heard a little music happening in the background. And what that tells me is in the first 5 seconds when you see this slide, what my viewer is going to see is announcing, a product name, the screen, and somebody clicking. So if I was someone who was launching a product, I could click where it says announcing. I could change announcing. If I click where it says your product, I could click on that and I could say my product was, let's just say PowToon. And I could type that in there. So I'm going to slow down for a second. I'm hoping that everybody is able to find the play button in the bottom left-hand corner of their template. And I want you to just play around with whatever's on that first slide, entering text where there's other text. And if you have any questions, just shoot them over to me. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second just so I can answer some questions. All right, so a couple of different things in PowToon that I want to show you guys. So obviously the slides on the side are important. That play button that's below it is important. Now on the right side, it looks like there's a lot of information, but I want to break it down so that it's really manageable for you. In the top corner where it says My Styles, if you click the little arrows next to My Styles, you see it's going to select different titles like Picto, Infographic, there's a Panda one, Greeting Card, Marker. So basically what that is the style of the video. So the video in the template I chose was Infographic. The one that I showed you guys before was Mission. So that's basically the theme of it. And when you click on that, then you're going to get all these different characters and objects that go along with that theme. So if you wanted to, I don't know, I'm going to change it back to infographic. If I wanted to add something to this slide and I wanted it to go with my theme, then I would want to make sure that I was on the infographic theme. This is more important when you start with a blank one because you're trying to find different items. With a template, everything is pretty much already there. So I'm trying to think if I want to go to the side or the bottom. So we have different text effects like we have in PowerPoint. There's different ways that you can add text to your PowToon. So I'm going to actually delete the text that's there. And I'm going to click on one of these text effects. And you can see when you scroll over these things, it shows you what it's going to look like. So I actually want handwriting. So I'm going to click on handwriting, and now it's going to add that to my slide. So I'm just going to stop for a second because I see a bunch of questions coming in. Okay, so I'm back to sharing. So if we wanted this handwriting effect, when I click on the handwriting effect, you saw that it pops up on my slide, and then I just double click to edit it. So now I'm going to say, hello, welcome to my presentation. And it's a little difficult to read because it's white, but it's going to look good on that pink background. So now I've put my text in there, but I want to see what it's going to look like with the effect in it. So what I need to do is underneath the slide itself is a timeline. So if I click on that red arrow, I'm going to slide it back to the beginning of this slide. So when I slide it back, I have the option of just dragging it and seeing it come through. Or I can press play. And now I see my handwriting with my text come up on the top of the screen. But what you guys will notice is that it looks like it's going to get cut off. So if I press play again, so this is a problem that you're going to encounter a lot when you're using the template. My text is a lot longer than the original text, so it doesn't last the entire time when it's in this slide. So what I need to do is I need to make this slide longer. So every slide in PowToon can go up to 20 seconds. So you'll see, if you look at the top of the timeline, it says 0 seconds, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and so on and so forth. So if I wanted to make this first slide longer so that all my text would appear without disappearing, I would need to press the plus sign in order to add more seconds. So you see I just pressed the plus sign, it made it 6 seconds, and if I click it again, now it's 7 seconds. So if I press play, it still gets cut off. So you're probably wondering, why does that happen even though you made the slide a little bit longer? So what I need to do is I need to make the entrance and the exit of that text different. So on the bottom underneath the timeline, you see there's a T for text, the little laptop icon, and then the hand for the handwriting. So if I click on the hand for the handwriting, I see it ends after 5 seconds, and then it fades out. But I need it to last a little bit longer, otherwise it's going to disappear. So I'm going to drag this bar over to the 6.5 second mark, and then I'm going to test it. So I'm going to press play, and I see that my text stays for the right amount of time. And if I keep pressing it, then it disappears at the end of that slide. If I go back, now the other objects, they disappear too soon, so I'd also have to make them disappear at 6.5 seconds and 6.5 seconds. So I'm going to stop there because I think that was a lot of information for that. If anyone has any questions, just pop them in the question and answer section and just let me know. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I want you guys to play around with that, adjust the timing on the slides. Screen in PowToon, it says sound, and then it says image. If you click on image, you can actually import items from your computer. So you would just have to click upload file, and then you could browse your computer. So if you wanted to put in like a photograph that you had or like a picture of yourself, that's how you would put those in to your slide. Okay, so I showed you what the text effects looked like. So you just click on that if you want to have the text effect. But you also can have effects of how the objects get put in and out. So I want to show you, I'm going to do it with the laptop icon that's on my slide. So you might have a different icon there. You might have like an umbrella, anything. So if you don't have any objects on your slide, just go off to the side on the right side here and just like see present. I'm just going to drag the present over. You can actually click on it and it will appear. So now I have this present here. And if I look in the timeline, which is underneath the slide, you see these different arrows in a box. That's actually what kind of effect it's going to have. So if I click on it, right now it's popping up into the page. If I click on the fade one, it's going to fade in when it enters. So if I click it, it actually just fades in. I can change this. What a really cool one is the hand effect, which isn't available with this object, but actually hands will bring it in. So if you want to have that as an effect, you can. So there's different effects to play with, and the entrance effect doesn't have to be the same as the exit effect. So you can have them be two different ones. So let's see. So those are the different effects that you can manipulate and change around. There's also transitions in between the slides. So if I look on the side where the slides are, underneath slide 1, it says zoom in. So that means when it goes to slide 2, it's zooming in. Underneath 2 to 3, it goes camera right. So it's panning to the right. So there's a whole bunch of different ones, and you would find them on the side. So I'm going to change to a simpler style for a second just to show you this. So on the right side of the screen, it says transitions about almost to the bottom. And if I click more, it shows me there's a ton of different transitions. I can have pull down, hands. I can have the movie clipboard go in between, zoom in, zoom out. There's actually even a squeegee, so it could squeegee it into the next one. So to get those, I would just click on it. And now you notice on the left-hand side, in between slide 2 and 3, it now says squeegee because I clicked on squeegee. So that's how you would change the transitions in between the slides. And you can also change the sound. So, I mean, it does have some jazzy music behind it if I press play. But if I didn't like that music, then I can definitely change that music. So if you go to the top of the screen where next to the image, it says sound in the menu in the top. If I click on the sound menu, you'll see it pops up here and it gives me a whole bunch of different options. So there are a bunch of free ones available that you could add there. And then there's also music track. So if I click on music track, it says import file, and it says it's going to override your previous soundtrack. So I'm okay with that. And then if I go to my music, you'll have to ignore all of my Zumba music that's in here. I'm going to click Billy Joel. And now if I press play, Billy Joel is the music that we hear. So I can press apply. And now, that didn't work. Oh, it's just waiting for it to load. So it might just take a second for your sound to upload, depending on the size of it. So maybe, you know, you have a tune that goes better. Maybe for like the Mission one, maybe you didn't want the music that came with it. Instead, you wanted the Mission Impossible theme song. So if you had the Mission Impossible theme song, you could add that in there and you could press play. So know that you can change the music behind it. Technically, if you wanted to record your own narration, you could do that and you could upload it that way. It also gives you the option of voiceover in the sound menu. You could record right in here. I did try and do it last night. It wasn't really working for me, so I don't want you guys to think that that's the best way. You might just want to use Audacity or some other sound recorder and then just save it as an MP3 and upload it as a music track. Especially for maybe like foreign language, world language teachers, you might want your own voice so that they can hear the language being spoken properly. Okay, so before I give you guys some time to really play around with everything and ask some more questions, I just want to show you 3 more things, and then I'm going to let you guys explore a little bit more for a little while. So when you're done, if I was done with this, I would click Save, because I would want to make sure that everything was saved. And then on the top, you'll see that there's a preview button. If I click preview, it's going to change my screen, and it's actually going to show me what it would look like for my viewers. So by pressing play, now I see what happens for the viewers. So obviously this is not my real presentation, but if it was, I would continue watching it just to make sure that everything was transitioning well and everything looked nice and everything was going along good. If I wanted to share this video that's now complete, what I could do is I could go back to my dashboard, and we'll see the product launch one is here. If I click on this video, now I'm going to see a little preview of it. But below it, very similar to what you see on YouTube, it's going to have a share tab. And so now the link to my video is right here. So I could go to my Moodle page and I could share this video. Or below it is actually the embed code. So I could copy the embed code and I could embed it into my Moodle page. So if anyone wants me to show how to embed into the Moodle page, just let me know in the chat section, and that's something that I could show you guys how to do. And the other option that we have is we can export this to YouTube. So I don't know how many people have a YouTube channel that they use, but if you did have a YouTube channel, if you click export on the top when you're in the editor itself, then you can export it right to your YouTube page. So you would have to click free, and then it would ask you to add your YouTube account, and once you did that and clicked export, it would do all the work for you. So anyone that uses YouTube and would like to share it that way, you could do it that way. Just a word of caution, on YouTube, you never know what's going to come up, so you might need to make sure that some controls are in place for the suggested videos at the end and the ones that come up on the side. So I do want to give you guys about, maybe 10 minutes to play around with this. I'm going to be answering questions, so any questions that you have, make sure you're asking in the question and answer section or in the chat. If you want me to show you how to do anything while you're playing around, just let me know, and I'll... Also, guys, if you want to edit the name, when you go back to the dashboard, there's a little pencil that shows up to the right of the name. So if you click on that, then it allows you to change it. So if you want it to be called, you don't want it to be called Education Mission, you want it to be called, I don't know, whatever your topic is with the mission, then if you click on that pencil, you can definitely rename it so that it's something a little bit more jogs your memory later on. Open up a couple of polls for us to answer. So some of them are short answer and some of them are multiple choice. So if you guys can just take a couple of minutes to answer the multiple choice ones and the short answer. When you're done with the short answer, there's like a piece of paper with an arrow. That's how you send your answer. If you could do that, that'd be great. Also, there's above the chat right now on the right hand side in the center, there's a files icon. You can actually download that PowToon handout. It's just a handout that I created that talks about the key features. It has some screenshots. I'm also going to send you guys a copy of the recording of this session. So if anybody missed, if they had technical difficulties and were down for a little while, I'm going to send you a recording of this video so that you can, catch up on it. I will also send in an email the PowToon handout in case you're on a computer that you cannot download the handout to right now. So if you guys could just, I'll be here for at least another 5 to 10 minutes. So you can continue asking questions, and I'll pop up a question and answer pod in case anyone wants to ask a question that they don't want out there for everyone to see. So the question and answer pod is out there if anyone wants to ask it. I'm still here, so I just popped my video back up there.